Hey y'all. All right, it's time for Talk with April. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about compromise. I'm going to talk to you about sacrifice, and I'm going to talk to you about compromise. So, a lot of times in relationships, people tell you in order for you to have a successful relationship, you have to be able to compromise. Which is true. I agree with that 100%. I think compromise is definitely essential um, to forming your bond and to staying in sync with your partner, because you got to have give and take in a relationship. If all it is give, 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 or all it is take, 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 then you're not equally yoked and your relationship is unbalanced and it's doomed to fail. Um, but don't get it twisted as far as compromising on the front end, because I believe that not compromising your standards on the front end will reduce the amount of compromise that you have to have in your relationship. And what I mean by that is this: when you are looking for your partner or your soulmate or whatever you're looking for in a relationship, you should have a standard. You should have a list. I hate to say a list, but it is what it is. You should have a list of things that you expect in a partner. You should have things that you're willing to compromise and things that you are not. So don't sacrifice those things up front to get someone, because you're going to resent that person and it's just not going to work out. That's the bottom line. So if you know in your heart that you don't want to be with someone that smokes, but you meet a guy, he's a nice guy, and he's like, well, I only smoke socially, or I only smoke cigars once in a while on my back patio. He still smokes. I mean, it is what it is. So you got to decide if you're willing to sacrifice that standard of not being around someone that smokes versus compromising and saying, okay, well, I like this guy and I want him in my life, but he smokes, but he only smokes. So, I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. You're going to either sacrifice that standard or you're going to compromise up front and say, going in, okay, this is something that it's not a deal breaker, something that I'm willing to deal with. So for me, I am very particular with my standards. So there are standards that I have that are just not negotiable, that I'm just not going to sacrifice up front. I don't care how great a person I think you are. I'm not going to sacrifice my values. I'm not going to sacrifice my peace of mind. I'm just not. I'm not going to sacrifice my family. I'm not going to sacrifice, just my core person, my core beliefs. I know that I'm a giver. I know that I'm a server. I know that I like to be in the community and doing volunteer work and charity. So I'm not going to sacrifice that for someone that is not interested in those things or that is not capable of supporting me in those things, because that's a sacrifice I'm not going to make up front, so I don't have to deal with that later on as a compromise. Been there, done that. So I'm not going to compromise who I am at my core to get someone. And that's pretty much basically where I'm going with the whole conversation about compromise and sacrifice. We each have to decide what it is that we really want. And I mean really want, not fairy tale, phony baloney, make believe stuff that just ain't realistic. I'm talking about legit relationship stuff. Like, I want someone that shares my interests, likes the type of movies that I like, and likes to do the activities that I like to do. But I am also willing to be in a relationship with someone that engages in activities or things that I may not have any experience in. So I can't say that I don't like those things because I've never done those things. I can't say that I'm not willing to go hiking. I'm not going to date someone that likes to be outdoors and hike when I'm not an outdoors person, because I'm willing to be an outdoors person. So, you just kind of have to look at things at the big scheme of it and decide up front. I'm not going to compromise my values. I'm not going to compromise my ship. Just whatever you do, do not sacrifice your beliefs. Do not sacrifice your standards. Do not lower yourself for the sake of having someone. Because your right someone is going to show up. All right, that's all I got. Bye.